Gentlemen, I'm here to do a book review of a book that I read a while back, but due to nasty weather and uncooperative hip, I have not been able to get out and do a video. So you will be seeing footage from stuff I've shot previously throughout the summer. So I do want to talk about this book. It's called Pets for Legion. It's by Christian author Shawn David Brink, and it came out in 2021. I would call this a Christian supernatural horror thriller, I guess. This is the second book that I've read by Mr. Brink, and the first one was Bound by Blood, which I'm going to try to remember to put at the end of this video. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested, hopefully I remember to do that and put it at the end of this video. So let's see. Let's just get into the start of the book. What happens is we are seeing a woman named Sasha James. I'm going to have a hard time with that. Sasha. I don't know why I can't say that name very well, but she is our main character. She's in her 20s, recently divorced, and is working as a school teacher. And she's sitting in the teacher's lounge in the opening scene here, eating her lunch and having a discussion with another coworker. And out of nowhere, a large rock busts through the window, somehow hits the poor guy she's talking to in the head. The coworker goes down. She stands up and runs to the window to see what's going on outside, and she sees a child being chased by a man with a knife. This man is wearing a hoodie, so she can't see his face. She's also noticing, and what's actually bothering her is that there's a bunch of people standing around just watching, and nobody's helping this poor kid. So she decides that she's going to do something and jumps out of the window and runs over towards where this is happening. Basically, as she's getting there, you can hear police sirens in the background. So you can tell that help is on the way, but nobody in the crowd is doing anything, and she's on her way to help. That little bit of distraction actually gets the hooded man to take off. And at that point, some other man decides that I guess he's going to be the hero and chase after this person. So basically, you've got the guy with the knife running away. You've got some guy chasing him down. And that's where the scene starts. Without getting into any spoilers, basically what happens from here is Sasha becomes the target of the man with the knife. That's really where the story is. There is a couple people that she meets up with that actually help her along the way. That's basically the story, is of people coming after her, basically because she was the only one that stood out and actually did anything when this was going down. And this is bizarre to them, and there is a reason behind it. I don't want to give it away, so we're not going to go down that avenue. So there you go. That's the gist of this story. What I would say when I got this title, Pets for Legion, I actually had no idea what that could mean. I was completely clueless as to what the title had to do with it, but as you actually read the story, it becomes clear. In the Bible, there's a moment where Jesus meets a possessed person. He's possessed by demons, and when Jesus asks the man his name, they reply Legion. So the man doesn't reply, but the demons inside him respond that his name is Legion, meaning there are thousands of them, I guess, because I believe Roman army units, that's what a Roman army unit was. So basically, in this event, Jesus casts these demons out of this man. That's where this Legion comes from. So Pets for Legion basically is we have these demons that are locked up, let's just say like in the earth. They are unable to get out, but they're able to manipulate people into doing things and conning them and making deals with them to get what they want. And what they want is for these people to bring them down, people to basically torture and torment. But that's where the title comes from, I guess. I guess what I would like to say is what I enjoyed about this book. I'm pretty sure Shawn had said something in one of my comments about this, but I had mentioned how the pace of this was amazing. This thing basically starts off right off the rip and it doesn't stop. So if you like fast-paced stuff, the story kept me hooked the entire time. So I was involved in the story the entire time. I kept wanting to read. I'm going to say that I really liked the scripture that was used in the book. I felt that it was accurate and used properly, which is always a positive for me. And I guess the ending of this book, it's basically exactly the kind of ending I really enjoy in my stories. I don't want to say what that is, but just know that the way this story ends is how I like my stories to end. And again, I'm going to say this, and I don't know if this is actually a compliment to people when you tell them that you enjoy the book that you just read more than you did the other book that you read. So that is what I'm going to say about this book. I like this book quite a bit more than I liked Bound by Blood. Doesn't mean that Bound by Blood was bad. I just think this one was better. I really enjoyed the story a lot. What I would say is that these feel more thriller to me than horror, but there is horror involved. But it isn't the type of horror that makes you sick to your stomach. Austin from Outer World Media has said it before, where you read something and you kind of just want to go to church and get cleansed. You don't get that in this, and I kind of like that because that is something I don't like about horror, and it's kind of why I don't typically read horror. Yeah, it just sometimes horror can feel very evil, and even though there's evil in this book, it isn't the dominating factor. There's actually good stuff that comes out of this. So, I would like to say that I'm going to highly recommend this. I'm also going to say, Shawn, I'm sorry that it took me so long to get to this, but I appreciate that you reached out to me again and asked me to read this. I hope you find that this is a compliment when I say that I like this book better than your other book. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. If any of this sounds interesting to anybody, I am recommending this book. I know I've already said that. At this point, this is where I usually start saying and basically start repeating myself. So I'm going to end it here. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. And yeah, I will talk at y'all later. Bye.